Welcome to the Skype New Friends Support and Share group here every Saturday night, 6 p.m. Pacific time. I'm Val, and this is Tim here. Tim, would you like to start it off?
All right. Well, there's lots of different things we could talk about what's happening right now. We see that the powers that be seem to be interested in Iran having a conflict if possible. It almost seems like the way that more of the military moves over there in that area, and it's real interesting, all these things taking place by these authoritarian, brutalitarian forces. It just don't know what to expect. It only takes one little thing, it seems like, for them to make propaganda that there's a reason to start bombing or blowing up men, women, and children in a new country to be involved with. I guess it's all kind of the part of the process that we have to go through here and in this psych realm stuff. All these experiences that seem to have been going on for centuries and centuries and centuries. It's like it's always wars happening on Earth, whether it's all the way back to the natives trying to kill each other with sticks and stones, all the way up to now with these atomic bombs and things that could be so affecting everybody so much more than even all the things that are being done to us right now. I don't know what it's going to take to get people to wake up and see what's really happening. I guess it's up to, like Dwayne's presentation, to light up the darkness that mankind's experiencing and being conditioned to be a 9-to-5 slave for the benefit of others that think that they're better and like to control people and use us for their purposes. So this opportunity of testing the new you song for ourselves to see what life shows us, if we're sincere and want to find out for ourselves what's real. This stuff about becoming aware of all these things that we don't know until somebody gives us the education and the guidance so that we can find out what is real in life. I guess. Yeah.
Thanks, Tim. Zolt and I were talking today. There's a question that came up about, is there any kind of was it guideposts or signs along the way that you're going the right way, or something of that sort. Um, any kind of indicators like that. Was as I was driving back from your place, Zolt, I just thought since this is not a here to there kind of situation, then in essence I would say there's nothing like that because you're not going anywhere. So if you're going someplace, you kind of see landmarks or things along the road, along the way, to indicate you're going the right way. A sign, mileage sign or something like that. But this is it's not going from here to there. It just is what it is. So the indicators are not in a literal sense. They're not the same as you would have if you're going someplace. So it's a little bit different than how you see things. And I don't know, for me at least, once you get a little piece of it that is, then it's just that could last me a long time. I mean, just that. Same as a neat real side experience, that maybe you can't even figure it out, but it was so real, so profound that it could kind of nurture you or inspire you to just keep going with seeing more. So there's kind of different ways of looking at it, in terms of needing a reference in terms of a guide, like if you're going the right way, I mean, we're already there, and in essence, we're already here. We're already where we're going. Once we start the new you, I mean, basically made it. But you just have to recognize it. So the recognition is endless, basically. You're endlessly recognizing your relationship to this isness. And so who's to say? I mean, the old days also, there were the initiations that were going on, which were indicators of, okay, you've reached a certain level. You may not recognize it, but, we say you've reached a certain level. You spent a certain number of years studying. So according to our computer, or even in Paul's day, it was more real. The initiations were real. So maybe you were getting it from the real side. There was, they could see from the real side where you were, so you would be brought up, so to speak, to the next level of opportunity. Not that you're going to see it, but you have the opportunity. Each initiation was an opportunity. So here too is, well, with the recognition, it's just it's an endless ongoing process. And who can say where you are, or because there's no place that you are except now. So it's just an endless waking up to now. So-called, like, are you going the right way? Are there guidelines, or there's some kind of guideposts or indicators that you're going the right way with this?
Yes, I asked that question to Dwayne today, and I didn't get anything.
Well, what I got when I was driving away from your place was that it's not a here to there process. We're always in the now. So the recognition is
Yes.
differently than going to San Francisco and you have mileage markers and things like that to tell you.
Yes, and I don't mean it that way, but on the inner journey into your own awareness, there are also guideposts and phenomena that come up. Like, for example, I'm having my hearing faculty expanded because of the new you, and I enjoy music way more than before. Like, I'm sure this has something to do with the light and sound reality, and it's basically rewiring my brain. So that's not related to awareness other than that I notice it. But it's still some kind of a progression that is happening, before you get to the recognition of the real awareness or the is. It's something that people can notice, and I think it would be helpful to create a list of these phenomenon, on the way, because you can't talk about the isness at all. So creating a list of phenomenon that is kind of helpful for beginners to understand at least that they are going in the right direction. That was my suggestion or asking about.
Well, people are welcome to put something in the chat to that regard, or you can make something up, Zolt, about that to start it off. People are welcome to do something like that. But again, it's wide open. It's like the Wild West, It's like anything. It's unique to each individual what they're going to get in terms of phenomenon and how they're going to relate to it. So, but these things do help and apply. Other people can get something out of somebody else's experience for sure. That's why we're sharing. So, example, just the other day, I'll share something that happened to me. Is like I don't have a lot of real side experiences, or in the sleep state, but I had one, in the physical. It was just like I was in the dream state, but I saw certain things, and it was more of a personal nature, but it was just like me being, asleep and seeing it in the dream state, but I saw it in the physical. And I know other people like Henry sometimes has this too. When he's listening to Dwayne on a call or something, he can just like zone, kind of. He can pick up a lot of things just by listening, and this is in the physical. But it's like being on the real side. If you kind of get what I'm saying, but it's an impression, and you see things, and you know that it's something that's not, you haven't imagined it.
So I hope my background noise here is not too loud. Am I coming through okay?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay, so from the previous path that I was studying before, which is Advaita Vedanta, they are always pointing you back to your awareness. And they use pointers only. That's not to be taken literally, but they use pointers to kind of sink into your awareness, because it's a backward journey. You're going back into yourself from the mind, and you're going through the mind. And one of the ways that's done is that you objectify, like Dwayne says also, he has a similar saying, to objectify what you are seeing. So let's say if you are identified with your mind, then you start watching your mind more and more intently, and realize that the mind is in front of you. You are not the mind, but you're watching the mind, coming from the awareness point of view. So the question is always, where are you looking from? See that?
Right.
See that how that helps?
Right.
Where are you looking from? And it just depends on your current identification what you will say. Okay, I'm looking from the mind. Yeah, that's good, but that's not the last step. So looking from the awareness, awareness is the inescapable, because you cannot go beyond awareness. If you went beyond awareness, you would not be aware, right? So therefore, there is nothing there. But you are awareness, and it is the inescapable. The reality is the inescapable that you cannot get rid of. When you watch the mind, you can discern that the mind is an object in front of you, a device. So to come back to awareness, you're always using awareness to examine what is going on, and it becomes very subtle things that are happening in your mind, because the mind is a very subtle instrument. So you notice more and more subtle things that are happening in your mind, and also you discover your empathic abilities when you do this. Because some of the very subtle phenomenon are, sensing other people's intentions, other people's state of being, or what energy they emanate. But this takes awareness to notice those ever more subtle things, and they are phenomenon, but that doesn't matter, because you're exercising your awareness to become more aware of it, right?
Yeah, it's like a muscle almost. Like
Yes, exactly. You're in the gym. We are in a very very tough gym here. We are lifting heavy things like matter and mind, the gross things, the heavy things. And awareness is the most subtle thing, because it's even subtler than light. I call it transparent light, invisible light, and it's an aware light. So it has its own function, and we can exercise it and expand it with this exercise. And the new you is another addition that I have just found that expands the awareness even more. So I look forward to discerning the subtle differences between what the new you is doing and how my previous practice, and how the two works together. That's kind of where I see the big effect, or the big realization that we want. That's my take on it.
yes, Nat.
This one, Zolt was telling, no, this Advaita Vedanta. I am familiar with it. Actually, they recognize the ultimate source as, at one level, they recognize the source as Brahm, and another level as Parabrahm. So, Brahm is actually, another name of Brahm is Kalam. And Parabrahm is none else than the great deceptor. So, Advaita Vedanta, you reach the height of consciousness. Parabrahm means it is not awareness, height of consciousness. It is the mind's highest level at the etheric level, mind's highest level. But even that highest level cannot know awareness, because awareness is, there is a deep dark order beyond that. So the awareness is beyond that. This is the Parabrahm is the great deceptor, is the fifth highest level.
So this is Zolt again. In the schools that I have visited, we don't talk about Brahma or Parabrahma. we talk about Shiva being the height of awareness, and we differentiate between consciousness and awareness. Consciousness is of the mind, and awareness is beyond the mind. So the awareness is watching the mind. It's a very subtle difference because they are both invisible, but there is a difference because the mind is busy. It has things appearing in it, and thoughts and notions and intentions, whereas the awareness is completely still. It doesn't change. It's completely still, and it's the witness. It is the eternal witness of the mind and phenomenon. So this, in my opinion, this goes beyond the creator gods and the column god, which is really just a demiurge that in the God Gnostics text. He's not a god, he's just a controller. So, but that's fine, you know, there's many ways of talking about this, and yeah, so Shiva means that which is not, but that's in comparison to the creation. So in Indian language, Shiva means that which is not, but you could also say that which is, because it just depends on how you consider what is real. If you consider the original reality that was not created, but always existed, then it is real. But if you look at it from the vantage point of creation, then it appears as nothingness. So you can say that which is not. So that's my take on it. And if you can verify this in your own awareness, if you just consider your own awareness, is it a thing? It's not a thing. Has it been created? Not really. Because you existed before your mind existed and your body. So even though we don't remember, who knows how old it is.